Hello, one and all, and welcome to another episode of Baggers Chat. My name is Mitch Pattinson, and as always, we are joined by Ethan Duffy. And tonight, we are previewing our round 20 clash, Hawthorn v Carlton, Thursday, 24th of July, 7:30 p.m. at the MCG. We are coming off a win, the first time since round 14 against the Eagles, since we've actually come off a win. So always good heading into a preview when we are obviously getting through the week with the 4 points, but a bit of excitement for this week, Duffy Boy, from my end. I'm sure you would be the exact same way. But how are you? And what's your initial thoughts heading into this game?
Yeah, it's I'm good. Apart from a little flu I've had for the last 2 weeks, which can't get away from me at the moment, which is a bit frustrating, but that's just life, Patto. But yeah, it's kind of a shame that it was such a short turnaround from the win, because you have less days to lap it up. And I'm not talking like I was running around the house all weekend going, fucking how good was that? But it was good to not have negativity around the footy club for a week, and watching shows, and they're talking about the positives of our ball movement and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been a good week leading up to now, and yeah, it's going to be a big task on Thursday night. Hawthorn are still playing for something as well. What are they now on the ladder? They're fifth on the ladder. They can still make the top four. So sometimes double chance can be the difference between really pushing for a premiership or just being that, like, just satisfied with a finals win. And I know Brisbane came fifth last year, but they were better than a fifth team, I think, because they had that bad patch at the start of the year. But yeah, it's going to be, it's probably down to Hawthorn. And well, you look at it, Geelong and Hawthorn, Giants and Freo can still make the top four, which is great. Exactly. I think the top eight. But in our sense, I think there's another week, and people say the word pride, Patto, but you said it very strongly, I think, in the review, that just because we're not playing for anything doesn't mean this season can just go down the drain. I think if we finish this year off well, as a whole, the next 5 weeks, I think that can set us up nicely for the next season. I'm not saying it's going to guarantee anything, but it'll give us, I'd imagine, give you and myself a little bit of, okay, let's head into next year. Let's everyone buy in, and we're going to get around it for the start of next year, rather than going, like we were, a couple of weeks ago, which is fair enough. If you keep playing that and you head into a new season, you really don't know what's going to happen next year. But if they play, they don't have to win games. Of course, you'd like to win games. It's the same as this weekend. I just want to see him give him a crack. Just give him a crack, 4 quarters, and make him just that little bit, just make him that little bit nervous that they might drop a game to Carlton. You know what I mean? Like, just and put ourselves in a position to win the game. And if we don't, and they're too good, which they've proven this year, they're better than us. So that's just facts, isn't it? That is just facts, Patto.
Yeah, I don't know what the mindset would be heading into this game. I'm hoping that they still have a lot heading into this game. I hope that the mindset is we still have plenty of left in the season that we can utilize for 2026. Someone said it in the comments, and I think that's what I was trying to shaping to say in the review, was like our 2026 season starts now, pretty much.
Yep.
Use last week as a win. That's when you kind of utilize and the last few rounds of the season, because then you can catapult yourself with confidence in 2026. Start preseason well. Hopefully no injuries, but obviously we can't control that. So that's what the depth is for. That's why you have 40 players in a squad to come in and fill a void while a player is out. I think that's always been the problem that I think we've been saying for so many years, that we have great depth, which I think we do. This year it's definitely been asked. I mean, it's been questioned a few times this year.
Yeah.
So heading into next year, I personally think we still have very good depth, but it's whether we actually utilize it. And if over the offseason, whether we go to the draft or whether we bring in some players that are free agents, there's still players that are playing VFL. Name that comes straight to my mind is Malcolm Roses, who is a Gold Coast Sun. He's not even getting a gig. So I'm more thinking about it, and I'm like, you can probably poach him for a little bit less money.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he probably would still be on a bit of money, but I would be happy to 650 to 600K a year at him, because I think the opportunity he would have is tremendous. And obviously we
it's
would
the
get into
need.
all of that. Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
need, isn't it? Like it's funny because people go, why would you offer it? You know, like what you just said, I agree. Like if people go, why are you offering him? But it's a need for us. Sometimes you might have to pay a little bit extra to get the guy you need. He might not be worth 650, 600, but he might be worth it in your team because you really need it. And that's why it was great you pointed that out in terms of Roses. And there's probably other guys who they've got on the whiteboard. I'd love to see. I'd love to just be in a list management meeting just to see what they talk about, because it'd be very eye opening. I reckon. Give us 10 minutes in there just to see what they're talking about. We won't tell anyone. That would be that'd be ideal. But yeah, I think we're going to hit the draft hard with the academies and the father sons. I think there's probably a definite 4 in there with Dean, Ison, Gresham, and I think there was another one. Yeah, Gresham, and there might have been someone else. Definitely those 3. Oh, I keep getting Walker mixed up in those 4. He's obviously the year after.
Yeah.
But those 3 are definite. They will be at the club next year. I can guarantee you. And they played some very good games on the weekend, by the way. Harry Dean, man.
Yeah.
He's the best defender in the draft. He had 22 on the weekend against Vic Metro. He played against Cody Walker, and Ison's a midfielder as well. So, and he's probably going to be in the top 20, 25. And you look at it like that and you go, gee, it's nice to have. And it's going to be my question is to the list management is how are they going to get that, like, those done, because the point system obviously makes it a little bit harder now. So they're going to have to think creative. Do you get rid of someone to get some picks? Like, it doesn't have to be a top 10 pick, but it could be later picks to get points, because the whole, I get confused by the whole point system. I think everyone does, but I hope our list managers know how it works. But they'll have to think of ways around that. And like we said, we've got the team. We've just got to add pieces. There will be new pieces, whether they're big, small, fucking depth. We talk about Roses and he's in need. He might not even fucking get a game.
Exactly right.
Like next year, we just don't know that. You don't know. I'd imagine at the moment he would, but you just don't know. It changes. There'll be guys who are in the team. We go, oh, no way he gets dropped. Round 1 next year, he's not in. And you look at, we were speaking about Cowan at one point this year. At the start of the year, he started a little bit slower than he had in the past. Then we're going, oh, gee, like, what's going on there? And then he gets injured, comes back, and he's flying. So I think I take it in blocks, like in a season. Judging players, I hate judging players in one block. I'd consider a block 6 weeks, especially young guys like that. So I've said it. We've got to improve within, Patto.
Yeah, like, it's also interesting what they will do from a list management point of view at our own players as well. Because if we choose to bring in 3 draftees and maybe 2 or 3 free agents, that means that you need to make some changes. And obviously there are a lot of players that are out of contract at the end of this year who still haven't signed. Helps. But that also means that a few of those players are quite valuable with the Jack Silvanis. Like, those guys are quite valuable. And they're not, obviously Tom DeConning is one of the biggest ones as well. And if you choose to sign that, like them, because these are players that you only are allowed a certain amount of list spots. And if we really prioritize these draftees who are coming in, but also some free agents that might make their way to Carlton, you can't fit everyone in.
No, you can't.
That will be very, very interesting to see what will happen there, because I know that there are a lot of players. And as you said, there might be a few players that can get traded away. I don't think we have so many players that would kind of have, like, other clubs would actually want. And it's kind of all due respect to them. But I don't think we have, like, there's probably 10 or 12 players that probably have enough value within themselves that other clubs would want. But the rest of them are quite questionable. Yeah. But I'm not saying that there's no talent there. I think we have plenty of talent, but it's more just down to, like, there's probably like 10 to 12 players that have actually shown that they can perform at AFL level. And for another club to bring them in, they obviously have to make a trade. And that will be a talking point for the end of the year, which I can't wait for. Because obviously we will do previews and reviews for the rest of the year, but I think we'll try and shape the episodes to try and find solutions for 2026, which I'm quite excited for, Duffy Boy. But we'll move on, David Boyd, to probably our first sort of segment for this episode, and it's a bit of a different one. We usually start off with the injury list, but there's a certain mention that we have to say for this one, and it's Jacob Weitering with his 200th game this year, and it's quite crazy how quickly that's come. Like this week, when I found out that it's his 200th game. Obviously, 2015 was when he got drafted. 2016 was his first official year, and his first, literally his first game. I know we were speaking about it off air as well, about how you kind of remember guys like that making their debut and how he was quite good against Richmond. Just straight away making a statement, and obviously that's what kind of brought up to be when you are pick one and having that pressure. But I think he's definitely lived up to it. I think he's definitely the player that we have hoped that he would have been at that time in 2015 and now in 2025, 10 years down the track. I think he definitely deserves the credit. And obviously he has had the All-Australian year last year, which is quite good. Don't think he will be there this year, unfortunately, but who knows? There's still a bit of the season left. I'm not too sure. He's played enough games. It's just down to if the All-Australian selection do select him, but there also have been enough good key defenders to avoid. But just a quick word on Jacob Weitering, mate. I know that you absolutely love him as a player, but 200 games, they fly.
Yeah. And I think last week's game, or Saturday's game, couldn't have been more perfect timing to see how valuable he is as a player. I think he won us the game last week. I know there was other guys in there, but I think if he were, to be honest, he's that important. I think we wouldn't be the team we are. I know this year has been a struggle, but our success from 2023, 2024, and our improvement in 22, I don't think we would have been the team without him. I don't know, you can say that about all sorts of players, but I actually think without him, I don't think you see two finals wins and that, because he's just so important. It shows you, in a sport where it's so different to a sport like basketball, where you got usually 8 guys through the rotation and there's 5 on the court, so one guy can change a whole team. Whereas in footy, people go, one guy can't change a whole team, but I actually think they can. I think they can help in a massive way. And there's just something that I've always loved about him, and he's just does his work quietly, doesn't deal with he's not I don't know what the person. He's got a good personality to be a professional footballer. I think people make jokes about him because he doesn't. His teammates always say he doesn't laugh and all that kind of stuff. But I actually think when the last couple of years we've seen his personality come out a little bit more in games. Like when we've won big games and you've seen him celebrating and all that kind of stuff. I think he's almost feeling that reward for hard work, which is great. And yeah, there's a few highlights I saw today on TikTok and on Instagram, and the big mark against Hawthorn in 2022. That was kind of the start of the Voss era, which feels like a lifetime ago now. But those moments are massive, and he's had some huge games over his journey, and hopefully we get a win for him, because we seem to kind of let down our milestone players in their games, specifically Cripps in his last game. So you said at the start, what's the mentality to be? I hope the mentality goes, this guy is one of our leaders and leads from the front, plays every week. Is at the before the game, does Vossi go, let's do it for him? That's what I would be doing. I'd be leaning on that, because it's hard to find a motivation now. I know their jobs is to play football, but to win a game against a really good team, you got to find something, and that's it. It's on a platter for you. One of your leaders, one of your champions of the football club is playing his 200th game at a famous football club. I think he's the 41st to play 200 games. Not many. There's been a lot of players come and go. We've seen a lot of players come and go, Patto. And he's played 200 now, and he's on track for 300, in my opinion, the way he's going.
Yeah, wow. That's just – I still feel like he has probably –
plenty of years. He could be 350.
I seriously think he could almost get up to 350. It's at a point now where
touch wood, he stays fit.
Oh yeah, oh my god, exactly right. I mean, I guess it's wood. So
I've got wood right here. I'm bashing
it. But I'm saying this while I'm touching the desk right now. But I'm very very, very optimistic about how quickly those games have gone. Where
I know.
I'm like, my God, he's 28. He's still
Mm.
got probably, as a key defender, you can probably play till 34, 35, and he's obviously the ultimate professional. So I still think he has plenty of years left in the game. So I know I'm very excited about what he can provide for the rest of his career. I don't know whether that would be captaincy or vice captaincy, whatever it is. He is a leader of the Carlton Football Club, which we love. And I don't think he needs to be captain to kind of change his legacy. Because I personally think that he doesn't need to be the captain. I think probably Walsh is probably the next captain after Cripps. But whether, I don't even want to think about that. That's probably 5 years away, hopefully. But yeah, very, very good times for Jacob Weitering. And hopefully, as you said, we celebrate his 200th game in style with a win.
Yes.
But when you said that, I kind of was like, I completely agree. But it's more just like there's been other players as well. Like Mark Murphy is probably the most recent one from a absolutely terrible, deplorable loss against Port Adelaide. And what would be the difference this week going out against the Hawks?
Yeah.
I completely agree, and I want this guy to actually be recognised as one of our greatest players. But,
for sure.
Yeah.
It's the Murphy one. I'm not laughing at the game, but it couldn't have come at a worse time. We were it was just at the point of the season where it was just like fuck. It wasn't the right time. It was the end of the season. We were terrible. The coach was about to get sacked. It was, I guess, Murph ended his career in the way they played as a team for most of his career. Patto, not trying to make fun out of a bad situation, but I look back to Simo's 250th when Big Cruz kicked the winning goal against Port Adelaide and how much that meant to him. So. And I remember Weeders was playing in that game, and they were the young fellas, him and Cripps. And, I remember Simo was bloody crying after that game. I know they lost his 300th, but I remember that Port Adelaide 250th, and it just they all got up for him. And it was just a really just good display of Carlton footy. So I hope they just, it's going to be a tough task to win, but at least give it a fucking crack for him. You know what I mean? Because he's going to give it a crack, I'm sure.
Yeah, spot on. But yeah, let's probably move on now, Daffy Boy, to our next segment, and it's the injury list, obviously, that we will touch on. There are a few. I will say 2 or 3 players that is a very high, that are a very high chance to be featured on Thursday night. One of them's probably a little bit less unlikely. I think a lot of things have to go his way because, especially since it is an early start to the round, Thursday. But let's just hope the player that we're speaking about, Sam Walsh, can get up for Thursday night against the Hawks. Also, Harry Mackay is another player that is meant to be back this week. He's been eyeing off that round 20 game ever since his injury first kind of started. And let's just hope that he can get himself right and he ticks all the boxes and he can get himself out on the MCG, because I think he would be super important for the rest of the year alongside Charlie. Also with Ashton Moira in the forward line. I think those 3, just a bit of for Michael Walsh for 2026 to kind of, this is how the team probably looks. Because, I was speaking about it with a few mates of mine today, like the past few days especially, but they've all kind of said the same thing, and it's we are lacking the Jack Martin type in that forward line. We really are. I think 2023, he was so important, and literally, if you watch every single game on that back end, he was one of our more important players.
He was.
So I seriously think that Moya can be that next player. I thought Elijah Hollins could have been that player, but we mentioned in the review, I don't think he is going. I'm not too sure where he is at from a mindset point of view. Yeah, exactly. So we aren't too sure.
On Moya, he got the rising start today. It completely crossed my mind just before. So shout out to him for doing that. I don't think 5-6 weeks ago we would have thought he would have been a rising star nominee. And you look at it, and we both questioned why it took so long. But I've taken a bit of a look at what people have said, and I agree. It was probably just a few weeks too long, but the development in the twos for Moya is going to be crucial for the rest of his career. So you may as well give him that extra few weeks in the twos. They did it with Harry at the start of his career, and now look at it and go, okay, He wasn't ready at the start of the year. Remember that Collingwood game? I know he came on as a sub, but he looked like a headless chook.
Yeah.
It's not his fault. But then you look at him when he came back, he looked like he just refined the edges of his game and he's improved. And that's because of the twos. So you do have to be patient with these guys. Even though you're not getting results, it would be hard as a coaching group to go, sorry, mate, you're not playing, even though you're probably better than so-and-so, but we need you to keep dominating in the twos. It's hard. But now he's broken in, Patto, and, I don't think anything's going to stop him now.
Yeah, exactly right. I think a lot of players that are kind of finishing the season with the Matt Carrolls and the Ashton Moyes and the Cooper Lords and the Harry O'Farrells, even Lockie Cowan as well, like those 5 players, and there's probably more that will be featured for the rest of the year, whether it's a Ben Camporelli or a Lucas Camporelli. Not too sure exactly who it will be, but for those guys, we can even mention like a Billy Wilson as well. Like there's plenty of guys that can be featured for the rest of the year, and I don't know if we kind of do go down that path of, we know that there's not many weeks left of the season. Let's try and get a guy like Harry Lemmy in, or let's try and get a guy like Jordan Boyd or a Billy Wilson. Like I've said, like probably 10 names there that can easily be featured in this side. So I don't know what that would mean for the next few weeks, where like we try and just get it like a structure and a game plan and a list happening for the rest of the year to say, okay, well, this obviously works, so let's try and utilize this heading into 2026. But I'm more of the side of like, if you're going to try and delist or trade or whatever, let's give these guys the opportunity where if they are shit, let's give them the opportunity to show us that they are shit. Like, I don't want these guys to get delisted at the end of the season. Like, I mean, we always say that we will touch on it a lot more depth at the end of the season with trade period. But a guy like Alex Chincotta has had a hell of a lot of opportunities, and questions will be asked. I wouldn't mind if he is on the list in 2026, but he's had the opportunity. But if we end up delisting a guy like Billy Wilson, I'll be like, what the fuck's that about? Because that doesn't make sense to me. Like even Matt Carroll last year, like he didn't have a lot of...
Yeah, he was injured the whole last year and they delisted him.
That's exactly what I'm saying. So he had no opportunity, and he obviously has the value and the level to play senior football. So I don't know what the list management is. I'm not too sure exactly what it is. I don't know if they were expecting to get another player into their list and we simply couldn't fit Matt Carroll. I'm not sure. But I mean, I feel like it would be stiff also on a guy like Jordan Boyd, where I'm hearing a lot of things that he might even be delisted as well.
I got a feeling about that.
But I don't think he's had a lot of opportunity. Like, would you think he's had a few opportunities? Not really.
Not this year. I think the past few years he has.
And I think he's actually been quite solid in those opportunities.
He has been. It really depends how they're looking at him. Do they know they've got other guys at halfback? Carroll's above him now. Cowan's above him now. So do you really need him? Probably not. It's tough. There's brutal. I agree. I think he's good enough. Same with Chincotta, but there's going to be brutal calls at the end of the year. And you speak about depth, like these guys are crucial for depth, but we might go, well, actually, we've got Harry Dean coming in. We reckon he's going to be good enough to play games next year. Why would we not play him instead of you? So, people listening, we've just got to expect, and both of us have just got to expect this. There will be, when they show the delistings at the end of the year, whether it's in 5 weeks' time, and they do the post, and you go, fucking hell. You go, how did he get delisted? There will be ones like that. There will be ones like that where you go, oh, let's not be nice. Stop playing nice and get those fucking, if they go, they go. Don't keep him for another year if you don't get to play him. Same as Boyd. If he's in the same position next year, then you go, why is he on the list? Why are you wasting a list spot on him? It's brutal, but it's facts, Patto.
Yep, spot on, Daffy boy. The probably last play that we'll really touch on for the injury list is obviously Jack Silvani. He is probably out of those 3 a very good chance to play this week, so that's very good to see. There's not too much of an update on the Lewis Youngs, but just before we do touch on the ins and outs, I just thought while we're on the topic, I just thought it would be very good to just touch on the 2025 players that are out of contract. And I know that I've gone through it a few episodes, but I just thought that we would just remind ourselves once again of who's actually out of contract at the end of this year. So I think we will touch on it in a lot more depth at the end of the year, but I just want to know kind of your thoughts about some of these players, because there are very interesting players at the moment that are out of contract at the end of this year. So Alex Chincotta, Billy Wilson, Brody Kemp, Flynn Young, Frankie Evans, Harry Charlson, Harry Lemmy, Jack Silvani, Jesse Motlop, Mitch McGovern, Nick Haynes, Orazio Fantasia, Robert Monahan, Sam Doherty, Tom DeConning, Will White.
Yeah.
So
A lot of guys in there. Jeez.
Yeah, I don't know how many I've mentioned there.
I think Moy is about to re-sign. I think it's a 2 to 3 year deal.
He has re-signed.
Not official. Not official, but Riley Beveridge.
He's
not on.
No.
He's not on. That is weird.
I think he's 2026. I think he's 2026 because he was driving.
Yes, but he is getting an extension though.
Yeah, good.
I do know a 2 to 3 year extension. So that'll be good. Yeah, that'll be very nice, especially for a South Australian boy.
Yeah, spot on. There are actually a few. I mean, I won't touch on the 2026 contract talks, but I'm just looking at it now, and it is very, very interesting. Daft boy. Yeah. One of the big names I'm looking at is Sam Walsh, which I'm quite nervous about. But let's now move on, Daft boy, to the ins and outs. This is I feel like it's been a big sort of selection call every single week, but now that there is probably 3 ins that could potentially be making their way into the side this week. Now, I just thought we would say, do we want to bring in Walsh as an in, or do we want to not include him? Or do we even want to have a plan for Sam Walsh if he is in, and if he's not in? Maybe, I mean, I'm not too sure. I feel like, I've got a plan for Walsh if he is in, but I've also got a plan for if he's not in. So I'll throw it straight to you, Daffy boy. Your ins and outs and the sub. What have you got?
I don't have him in. I don't think he'll be ready this week. I've got 2 changes this week. I'm sticking. I'll start with the sub. Actually, I'm staying with Durden as the sub this weekend. You could put someone else, or you could put a Fogarty. I don't think he's a substitute type energy bringer. I think Durden's that type of player. I don't think he's good enough to play 4 quarters. So. It might be brutal, but it's I just feel like that's the case at the moment with Corey Durden. I really don't know. He's contracted, isn't he? For next year?
I've just read them out and I can't even remember. No, he's 2026.
Okay. Yeah. So he'll be a Carlton next year. But my outs for this weekend, Patto. I've got Frank Evans, obviously. Gee, it's the week he plays. Plays a good game. Obviously, he's got concussion, so he has to miss this weekend, which is disappointing for him because I thought he actually played pretty well on the weekend and, kicked an important goal. And I thought the moment where he actually got knocked out was a crucial moment of the game. I actually think because I think it might have been tied at that point, or we're only a goal up. And then he had to put his body on the line because of a shit handball by, I don't know who it was. Was it Chera?
Probably.
Yeah, fuck. The way he's been, gee, what is going on with him, by the way? But he's just been lackluster. But yeah, it was obviously put his body on the line, got the free kick, and then Moya sprinted over to take the kick, which is funny. It was a funny moment between me and my old man. He just sprinted over from the other side of the ground. Those players that he really wanted it. And that's what I want out of a guy like Moya. To want the ball. You want your forwards to want the ball. You watch Melbourne's forwards on the weekend. I know this is a little bit off track. They didn't want it. But I know, Jefferson missed that he shanked one and then he kicked one. But every time he had the ball, he didn't look like he wanted the ball. Same as Van Rooyen. I know that, he's out of form. Yeah. But isn't it though, when he gets the ball, we've had it with Harry when he had the yips. It looks like they don't even want the ball, which sounds ridiculous. And people go, Daff, what the fuck are you talking about? Just watch them play this weekend, Melbourne. You just watch their forwards. They really don't want it. They just don't. People take the piss. He doesn't want it. Well, they don't. They didn't look like they were going to win him the game. I was nervous in the late stage, but watching their forwards, my voice is dying. Watching their forwards. Watching their forwards play, I was just like, okay, their forwards want it more. And that's why the Moyer example for me was like, okay, he really wants to take this game by the scruff of the neck in a crucial moment. So Evans out. This one's stiff. Harry O'Farrell. Harry O'Farrell's out. There's nothing to do with him. Absolutely nothing. I've loved it. I actually think he's probably come in. He's played well, but I think he's actually come in a little bit early in his progression, not in his ability, but for a team that's wanting to win, he probably shouldn't be in the team this year. That's not him. I'd like him if he's played well, but that this in will be the reason. So my ins, Jack Silvani, he replaces O'Farrell. That's a simple swap, a pretty big upgrade, I think, in my opinion. On O'Farrell, I'll tell you what, him playing those games, Harry O'Farrell, this year will do him, oh my God. Coming into next year, he could be, who knows if he gets a game. Like I said, I look at it in blocks of seasons. You just really don't know. He might have a crap preseason and isn't ready for next year. Who knows? Or he could be the third tour where you go, Jesus Christ, this guy's launching at it. So those games will help him. So Sauce in and Harry Mackay. Yeah, I know. Fuck. Harry Mackay in for me. Oh, yeah. And I'm going with the three-headed monster. So I'm going with
right.
Mackay. I'm just going, fuck it. Pitto's playing too well. You can't drop to Koning. You just can't. I thought like we said, I thought he battled really well. I know that's the bare minimum, but he did. He did battle well on the weekend. He's clearly batted up. So I'm going with the three-headed monster, and you got Moyer as the fourth tall in the forward line, but he doesn't. He can play a little bit smaller. I think. I don't think there's a benefit of us playing so many fucking small forwards, in my opinion. I just think, and you look at Charlie's game on the weekend. Do you pop him on a wing for certain stages of the game? Do you go, here you go, Charlie, go on a wing, mate? And we've already got these two tools. We've got Harry in deep. You can feed it to him instead of running from 50 to the wing. Go play 5 minutes on the wing, change it up, see what Hawthorn does. I'm not saying he's going to be a winger or anything, but I think he has the physical capacity to clearly run up the ground like he did on the weekend. So why don't you just go, Vosic goes to him at half time, go, you go on the wing. Harry's killing it deep. Why not? Why not let it fly, especially when you've got so many tools? But yeah, those are my selections, and Corey Durden as the sub. And I must say my voice is on its last legs.
I didn't know if you were looking at me through that, but when you were,
I was trying not to.
I was having a bit of a giggle because then you were laughing. He just muted himself. I don't know if the audience can see that, but
that's too good.
Yeah, that was kind of fun. Yeah, because you were kind of struggling there. I was like a bit of a.
Hopefully that's my voice by the end of the game on Thursday night when we get up over the line against those fuckwits in brown and gold. Who, round 2 game we spoke about earlier today. We were in that game to our eyeballs. Really, we were. I think we were up at 3/4 time, if I'm not wrong, in that game. I have a feeling we were. It was one of our games where we were up all fucking game and still lose. So we're definitely up at halftime, like we usually are, Patto. But that was a game of inches, in my opinion. So let's get them back. They smashed us last year, had a laugh, and shat on us and beat us this year. So let's try and ruin their fucking top 4 hopes. You got to be thinking about that stuff. I know players say they don't, but you've also got to think. We go back to the motivations whole conversation, Patto. Last year we were, in the top 4 and they smashed us. So they ruined our, we had other losses, but they really derailed our season. It was like, okay, we're done. And it was all that. I think we had every player go injured. We had Jordan Boyd with one leg playing at full forward, if I can remember. And people were bagging him when he couldn't walk. So, I think back to those moments. You go, get him back. They're trying to go top 4. You go, nah, fuck them. Fuck them. Let's get them, finishing in the bottom half of the A and then knocked out first week and see how they feel. That's what they did to us last year. Let's hope that's some sort of motivation this year. Let's ruin a couple of seasons. Like I said, the good old St Kilda mentality.
Unfortunately, we just don't have the fucking mentality, Daffy boy.
Who knows?
I'm just, oh my God, I literally forgot, and I don't know how I forgot how poor that, literally the worst thing is that I was buddy there in my fucking member seat the whole fucking game, and I'm just like,
I'll tell you something even funnier. I wasn't going to say it, but I was there with my ex-partner, who's a Hawks fan, right? Had to stay there the whole game, Patto. And now I'm not even with her, Patto. It wasn't even worth it.
Oh my god, that is a fucking piss take.
Yeah, there you go. So I would have been out. I would have been out the door when Weddle was kicking goals from 60 on the boundary. I would have been out the door quick. I would have been laying on my couch watching, the Block or something, Patto. I would have been watching that shit. And we were wearing those retro jumpers. Like we're not wearing those.
Oh my god, with the fucking colours.
They looked great, but gee, they didn't perform in them, Patto. How about this segue, by the way? I'm talking about ex-missos here. What's going on here?
They look great, but they fucking perform like fucking dog shit, Daffy boy. Dare I say? But no, I absolutely love the ins and outs. I'm actually, will be honest, I'm a little bit unprepared tonight. I fucking forgot about Frankie Evans.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like, when I did it, you were very shocked.
I'm like, wait, are you omitting him? And I'm like, hang on, he got concussed, mate.
He's got one less tooth in his head. Did you see that when he got hit? If you watch back, one of the angles, you see his tooth fly in the air. You can see his actual tooth fly in the air. It's unbelievable footage. I reckon if you pick that up, sold it on eBay, Frankie Evans' tooth, that'd be going for a bit of cash, I reckon.
How much?
I think you'd have to pay someone to give it to him.
Imagine that, just be like, oh yeah, I can.
Frank Evans' tooth from round 20, dead rubber. Carlton respects game.
Oh my god! Funny, Frankie Evans, three club player, and he's 23. All right, no boy.
Journeyman, they call him.
Journeyman, and he's only 23. He's a year younger than me. No, he's your age. He's literally your age.
He is. Fucking hell, what?
Bloody hell, he's a journeyman. Let's get back on track, Taffy boy. So my ins and outs. So I'll start off obviously with Frankie Evans. So that means that I've made an extra change with Evans. Okay. So I initially just had two.
Yep. So now
there's one player that I'm just like, nah, you're out of the side for me.
I got a feeling I know who it is.
Who would you reckon? And I won't say yes or no, but I just want to hear your thoughts.
Fogarty.
Okay. Yep. So I won't say yes or no. So next is Harry O'Farrell. Completely agree. I thought that was a little bit of a stiff one. I didn't know if you would make the same decision. Same. Very, very stiff. I don't think we can play Weeders, Sauce, Haynes, and O'Farrell. I think we tried that a few times with McGovern in the back line with Sauce, Haynes, and Weiner, and it just doesn't work. So, so I think, unfortunately, O'Farrell needs to make way. I love what you said about he is going to he is going to appreciate this year, especially with the amount of games he played. So, for so much of the rest of his career, let's be real. He's going to appreciate it because all the rest of this experience that he's gotten this year is going to put him into great stead for the rest of his career. It really, it really would be. It really has, and I'm sure it really would for the rest of his career. I took a while to actually say that. I don't even know why. I couldn't actually voice exactly what I was trying to say.
It's a stepping stone. It's a stepping stone for him, a massive one.
Yeah. So very, very excited. I don't know if he could be featured for the rest of the year. Probably the only way it could be if there is another injury. But as we say, I wouldn't mind that because that means that he can go back to the VFL, learn a bit of more of his craft, head into the preseason, full fit preseason, second year, 2026, the season's yours. It really is. And that's when you mentioned there about if he gets himself right, if he just keeps elevating his performance, questions will be asked about Mitch McGovern. Seriously.
Absolutely.
He's out of contract. So questions will need to be asked because he is a player that probably is on a bit of money. I mean, I don't think he would be on a hell of a lot of money, but he is definitely holding down some salary where we could throw that at a guy like Malcolm Roses and a list spot, which is more important.
Yes.
So I'm very, very intrigued to see what will happen there because especially now that we have Lewis Young as well for key stocks, we do have a few key stocks now. It's going to be very, very interesting. But so Harry O'Farrell is my next out, and I'll move on to my last out, and it's the name that you've said, Lockie Fogarty. I I said it last preview episode. It's kind of seeming a bit like Doherty for the past few weeks. It's one of the cockroach that you can't kill. I don't know what his role is. Can you tell me his role? Because once again, he hasn't kicked a goal. So what's his role?
Yeah, so I'm looking at his stats right now from the weekend, and I think when he plays his best, he's the pressure type. I think that should be his role. That should be his role, the pressure link-up player. But at the moment, he's not even that. He had 3 tackles on the weekend. He had less tackles than Flynn Young, Evans, Cooper Lord, Cripps. So he still had, the 6 most or whatever. But I wanted him to be getting the 6s and the 7s. I look at, different players totally in terms of pace. But Bo McCreary had 15 tackles at one point in the third quarter. It came up on the screen. I was at the game working, and it came up on the screen. I thought it was a typo, so I had to check the AFL app. That's what they expect at Collingwood, those types of players. Even Bobby Hills and stuff like that. He might have a 6-touch game, and you look at it go, he had more impact than that. That's what I want from Fogarty, and that's what he did in that 23 season and at stages last year. He was kicking more goals last year too. I remember he kicked 3 against Geelong last year in that big win, kicked 3 or 4 against Richmond, and we're going, fuck. Well, he's actually finishing off his work and really becoming that player we thought he can. And I think it's an interesting situation with him. And I say, I hate to judge players totally, but I think he just needs a couple of weeks in the twos. Is it that hard? Is it? He can get to that height, I think, again. But why are we keeping him in the team? It only does him a disservice. It does our team a disservice. So if you just put him in the twos, it works out both ways. You bring in a new guy, you've said it. Bring in a young guy if you want and play him rather than a guy who's at the moment, he's middling, as they would say. He's not playing totally shit, but he's playing that just like, what are you doing? Like, what are you actually doing? You might as well play shit.
I mean, I feel like it can't happen, but if I was the coach, I would have dropped Motlop as well.
Yeah.
But I don't think we can go into this week without a genuine small forward, but I don't think they are small forwards either. I don't think they're genuine small forwards. Like we have Flynn Young and Will White, who is actually doing quite well. Ashton Moyer. We have Corey Durden, who's a sub, which I think I probably would take over Motlop and Fogarty, because I mentioned it a few weeks ago. At least I know with Durden, he comes on and he has pace. The exact player you said, Bo McCreary, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He's probably what Collingwood view. He is probably what we view Fogarty at Collingwood.
Yeah.
He's probably the exact same sort of player in terms of structure and game plan. The difference is that Fogarty doesn't have that breakneck speed, which is not his fault.
No. But we're expecting him to play that role.
Yeah, and he's not suited to play that role. So I would almost rather Corey Durden straight in, even Lockie Fogarty as a sub. But I don't know if Fogarty can be the sub because he's not a guy that can come on and change the game. I don't think Durden is either. But that's what I'm saying. I just think in terms of small forwards, we need to look into that tremendously because we need to have more pace in that forward line.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and then the ins I'm bringing in. So obviously I brought in Jack Silvani and Harry McKay, but my last in, I've brought in Blake Acres. Again, a bit of an... Actually, what's your thoughts on that?
Nah, I don't think he's deserved it.
Okay.
I think he's good enough. I brought him in last week, but then I know he was managing the twos, so he might be a chance. I'm not against it. But I also think, what are we rewarding here? He's had a shit year. He had 14 touches in his twos game he played. What are we doing here? I think we can find other ways to go around that, whether it's Lucas Camporelli or play someone else on a wing. You know what I mean? Play someone. I know, we're playing the Hawks and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know what Acres has brought this year that Lucas Camporelli can't bring. His kicking's not good enough. His structure's good because he runs both ends. But when you can't kick, I'm not sure what he brings to this team at the moment. I'm not saying he can't go on next year and play for us well, but at this season, he just hasn't been playing well enough. And I think I know the message has been sent No, he would know his gameplay hasn't been good enough. And his preseason was interrupted, but at the moment, no.
Yeah, I just think he's so important for structure.
Yeah.
I know we obviously won the game last week, but heading into this week, they have D'Ambrosio, they have Amon, they have Weddle as well.
Yeah.
So there's a few guys there now that I just feel like we need to have that genuine, because I'm looking at the side. We are relying on Ollie Hollins, who's been playing in the back the whole year. We also have Sam Doherty, who isn't even a winger. We have a Will White, who probably rolls up the wing. There's not a genuine winger. And I'm very, very nervous about that. So I'm not overly happy with the call. But when I look at the ends and I see Sauce, Mackay, and Akers.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
It is nice. I like seeing Akers in the side. And I know that Cooper Lord can also play on the wing, but I'm just like, he's not a winger.
Yeah, I get you.
So I'm very much like...
They either need to pick him. They either need to pick Akers or commit to someone for the next 5 weeks to play on the wing. We talk about Doc and where he plays. He's half forward, back. Just go, Doc, you're playing on the wing for the next 5 weeks. Just make a decision. I don't know if he's good enough, but just make a decision. I don't want to see 400 guys roll through there. Just go here.
That's my question, though. So you would rather give Doherty that exposure on the wing over Akers?
Well, only if they're playing Doherty and not Akers. But if Akers is playing, you're not going to put Doherty there. It's an injury. Yeah, I know what you mean. But they're not. I don't understand it. It's just that I don't know who they're going to put on the wing. If Akers is not playing, if they're not going to pick him, they're going to commit to someone. Doherty's alive. Yeah, and he's actually been quite solid. I actually think he should be getting some of Chera's mid-minutes and pushing Chera a little bit more forward. Wow. But yeah, it's got to that point with Chera. I've really tried to hang on the last few weeks. I think he's had a solid first half of the year. Solid. Not, giving up a pick 7 for him. Good. And he hasn't been really. There's all the talk. I don't think he'll leave, but I'm just sick of players who are really just relying on making dumb errors. And that's the thing with Akers. I really like him, but he makes dumb, stupid errors. He's done it all year. Imagine doing that against Hawthorn. Jesus Christ. Yeah, and I know everyone makes mistakes.
Yeah, but that's exactly what I'm saying. I think the errors have come from many more players, other players who have not been dropped. So I'm glad that they made the statement on Akers. But I'm actually realizing, I'm looking at the team and I'm like, fuck, we're missing that genuine winger. That's the only reason why he's in. I don't trust Binns. I don't trust Camporelli at the moment. All due respect, I just don't trust him to be that genuine lockdown. I know Akers isn't an A grader, but he kind of is seen to be within this club as the best winger. So I think we need to have him in the side. And trust me, you know exactly how I feel about this guy.
Yeah.
I don't think he should be rewarded anywhere near. But in terms of structure, I'm always on the side of structure. Yeah. I'm always on the side of structure and game plan, and I really look at this side and it's lacking a winger. But even if you can bring Matt Carroll on the wing, if you really want
that's what I mean. You just got to. Do you go last 5? I said Doc as an example, but you could put anyone in there. You could put Ollie Hollins on there for fuck's sake. That could solve the issue. You know what I mean? I do like him in defence, but that could solve an issue if you're not picking Akers. That's the only thing. And if you are picking Akers, it'll just make it easier. But I just, I know we've made a lot of mistakes, but he's frustrated me this year.
Yeah. I'm in the exact same boat, Daffer Boy. That's another thing. I just am looking at this game against the Hawks. I'm just very nervous about what their wingers do for their game plan, and I just feel like we have to look at that. I don't know if we will, but whether that will be a few guys that just have to fill the void while Akers is having a bit more time in the VFL to kind of somewhat humble himself and realise that his spot in the team isn't guaranteed, and maybe shows the rest of the players that might may have thought that their place is a little bit more secure than once thought, and they've actually realised, oh wow, it's actually not because Akers is coming out the side. I'm not too sure, but Dave Boy, let's now. Also, I don't know if I mentioned it, but also the sub will be Corey Dune as well. So exact same as you, Dave Boy. But let's now move on to the opposition watch, Daffy Boy. For the people who don't know what we do for the opposition watch, we go through the back line, midfield, and forward line for the Hawthorn Football Club this week, and touch on one player from each line and kind of explain why they could be a bit of a threat come Thursday night, MCG, 7:30 p.m. So, Daffy Boy, I'll throw straight to you as we always do. We start off with the back line first. Who have you got?
Yeah, I find it hard to get a read on the Hawks this year. I think they've had patches in the season where they look like they're going to be a top 4 threat, which I think they look like at the moment. But then you just there's just something about them where, just as a whole, where I just go, I don't know if they have enough firepower in that team to win a premiership at the moment. I think they're a forward or two down, in my opinion. I know Mitch Lewis just came back and it was pissing down in Tasmania and all that kind of thing. But has he really been the guy to take him in? I think he's the most overrated forward in the league in terms of forwards who've come back from injury. Like they're talking about him coming back. They won't talk about Harry like that. Coleman medalist.
There was nothing.
Won finals. Like
nothing.
Like I actually think, I think Chol was out last week.
Yeah.
He might miss again, but they just talk about. I know that's the forward line, but I'll move on to the back line. For me, I think we can really get this guy off his game. I think this season, for about 80% of the season, he has been below par, his expectation of himself, I'd imagine. And it's James Sicily. I thought he was good on the weekend against the Power, but I think he's had a pretty disappointing season. I think Hawks fans would agree. That's not me being harsh. I think they would definitely agree. And you look back on Sicily with the whole Jed Lamb game in 2017, but and have a laugh about it. But seriously, make him accountable. If we have the 3-headed monster, he has to take one of them. That's my thinking heading into this game. So if you got Barras, Battle, and Sicily, one of them have to take one of our players. De Koning, Mackay, Curnow. Who is he going to take? Who do you reckon he would take out of those three? Because there's so many intricacies of why certain players should play. Like Barras could play on any of them. Battle could play on any of them. Like it's what do you reckon? What's your first thought with Sicily? Who do you reckon he'll go to? Curnow?
Yeah, well, it's just because they also have Scrimshaw as well, and he's playing as that kind of that second tall. But I'm sorry, if they put Barras to or probably you would expect Barras would go to Mackay. That's kind of being a matchup.
Yeah, Battle to Curnow.
Scrimshaw. Sorry,
where would Battle go? You reckon?
I feel like it probably would be Scrimshaw, TDK, Battle, Curnow, and I'm like, that's what I'm saying because I don't think you can put Battle on TDK.
No, you'd have to put Barras on him. Yep, and I think, to be honest, if TDK's on his game, because if TDK's on Barras, like you can make TDK fly up the ground a little bit. You know what I mean? He's got the agility and he's quicker than Barras. Barras got a turning
better in that role.
Yeah, exactly right. Just play high. Just go, here you go. You play high and you're the next kick. Or get around, the contest against the Barras. Will Barras really want to get amongst it, in tight? He'll want it out the back and punch it over the top. Yeah. So that's another thing. Like whoever's on him, whether it's all three of those players can do that to Barras and really isolate him outside of the 50. Because you look at their defense, if you take Barras out of the 50, you got Sicily, Battle, and Scrimshaw, like you said.
I know.
Like, I think that's why I'm not having a go at Hawthorn. I think they'll make the finals and could come fourth. I don't know if they can get above Geelong because they just, you know what I mean? It's just like they're one or two players short, in my opinion, in all areas of the ground. And particularly, it's a strong defense, but I think Battle is probably not the player that they thought they were going to bring in terms of he's going to change the defense. He's solid. Every team would take him. But you know what I mean? That's the kind of read I get on Hawthorn. But for me, let's just try and make Sicily defend. Whether he's playing on Moya, whether he's playing on fucking Motlop. Seriously, doesn't matter who he's playing on. Let's get into him. First bounce, get into him. Go, I think you had a whole situation with Ollie Lord on the weekend from Port Adelaide. They were punching on most of the day.
Yeah.
Distract him from his game.
Exactly right.
Or by getting the ball as well. By getting the ball, and don't let him assert himself with his ball use, which we know he can.
Yeah, I'm looking at that back line now, and I just feel like it could be probably Barras to TDK because I don't think you can put Scrimshaw on TDK.
Yeah.
So
too big.
Once again, that means that it probably would be Barras to TDK. That means it probably would be Scrimshaw to Mackay. That you probably would expect Battle to Kerno. That's what I'm saying, mate.
Yeah, that's why I went with the 3 forwards. That's why.
Yeah, and it's not forecast to rain, so it's meant to be a clear night. I'm sorry, MCG 86,000. That's not in attendance. Who's down there? Ashton Moya.
We'll be talking about all these key forwards and Jesse Motlop will kick a bag. Actually, no, that's fantasy world. Sorry.
Oh yeah, good point. Actually, I might be playing that on the PlayStation for
AFL Live.
AFL Live. Fuck me. God, that's way back in that's a primary school days, Happy Boy.
Yeah.
So I think that also could mean that Sicily would probably go to Moya. Realistically, I think he probably goes to Moya.
Yeah, I think they'll have rotations. I think in this day and age, same with our defense, you see players switch. If a player goes deep, further up the ground, Weeders takes the one that goes deeper. Doesn't matter what size he is. Or there were some points where Weeders would take Fritsch. So Hollands was on Fritsch at most points. I was watching the kind of handovers just to see how they did it. And they did it pretty well on the weekend, where they always made sure Wiedering was deep, because I think that's been a bit of a talking point this year, where forwards keep dragging Wiedering out. They keep trying to drag him out. When you drag your best defender out, what happens then? It's easy to score. I imagine if Melbourne, tried to drag him out on the weekend, that game could have been totally different. But we didn't let that happen, which is good.
Yeah, I'm very, very intrigued to see what they'll do, actually.
I'm
looking at that back line, and I mean, obviously we would take a lot of their players every single day of the week.
Of course. I'm not saying they're bad, yeah.
Yeah. But I'm very, very intrigued. Very, very intrigued to see what happens. And hopefully they we haven't really seen a team with TDK, Pitternet, Mackay, and Kerno. So that's not even a lock. I mean, I hope that does play, because I think he has been in good enough form, and he probably played his best game last week or the week before against Lions. So I just think he's kind of warranted that ruck position. And when you said TDK going up the ground, that's exactly what I want him in.
Yeah.
Because he's not, I mean, of course he would be like an aerial threat inside forward 50. Every single player would be worried about him. But from himself, he knows that he's very good around the ground as a ruckman. So he can go up the ground. Pitternet doesn't need to do as much running around the ground. So he can utilize TDK up the ground and being that kind of secondary ruckman, like a Luke Jackson and Sean Darcy.
Yeah, like look at Luke Jackson. I think he's a little bit more mobile, and he's a little bit shorter. And I think maybe size wise, I think TDK is a little bit bulkier than Jackson. Just the build and his the way he moves. So no, you're right though. You're exactly right. Like, why can't TDK go? Okay, I'm just going to run up to the stoppage, and you can also cause a bit of confusion. You might go to Pitto. Oi, Pitto, I'll take the ruck. Go. Like Pitto might be at the contest. TDK nominates. And then, Lloyd Meek will be like, who the fuck's actually taking the ruck? You know what I mean? You'd be like, who's taking the ruck? That's how you confuse people. Carlton tried to do that with putting Cripps in the damn ruck, the confusion. Why don't you actually do it when you have a ruckman there? Do it with a ruckman. And I know we do it with Harry when he was in. So that's how you can confuse teams. Geelong do it with Blixarbs and Stanley. Like it could be in the middle of the ground stoppage. TDK sprints out of the 50 and goes, yep, I'm taking the ruck. Pitto, you stay back, or you go on the D50, get ready for the kick. There's all little things I like when you have an extra tall forward line. People like the extra small. I just like the extra tall sometimes, Patto. It gives me 2023 semi-final vibes.
Yeah. Looking back at that 2023 season now, I think a lot of those big games were with the two ruckmen, with Mackay and Kerno. You know what really frustrates me? something that really frustrates me is this. We say these things every single week. There's every single content creator who does stuff for Carlton, or even AFL content creators who support their teams and try and do fan channels, all of that. What annoys me the most is I feel like the ideas that you bring up, a lot of other people bring up, I really actually love. And I'm like, so if you're saying it, if I'm saying it, if Tez is saying it from Blue Abroad, if Saints TV, whatever it is, why the fuck doesn't the club do it? It actually annoys me. Because exactly what you said then about why doesn't TDK and Pinnet work together where they need to be working together as a team, because at the end of the day, TDK, we all know that TDK is better around the ground. We all know that Pitnet's probably a better ruckman with like actually hitting it out to the to our advantage. Yeah. So I don't know why we say these things all the time. We say this needs to happen. I don't know why they don't do it. I'm more thinking like, why the fuck actually don't they do it?
Yeah. At this stage of the season,
brilliant ideas. It's unbelievable to me.
Yeah, and it sometimes if you try something, then you go, okay, that actually works, or that doesn't work. You know, what I just said might not work. But and I know they do. They would try things that we might not know of. I'd imagine they would. But I want to see more visible things. You know, where they are talking about it on a first crack, and they go, oh shit, you know. Carlton just threw a spanner in the works against the Hawks, and Sam Mitchell wasn't able to adapt, you know, and I'm sure he would be, but you just never know. And you go on the weekend, and the Hawks go, why are we losing this game? And they go, oh, this is why. This is why, because TDK's around the contest, or Pitto's going forward, or I don't know. Could be anything, Patto. And we speak about the wing situation. Could they change that up? You know, it could, like I said with Kerno, put him in there for 5 minutes. Put him in the middle for 5 minutes.
It's like, all right.
It's like those little things, like it can be huge, and it can change the way you play. And you've said it with this last 5 weeks. It's the start of I'd imagine it's the start of the preparation for next year. I think the next, until the first round next year, including the off season, is the preparation for the first fucking bounce against Richmond, right? Try it. If it doesn't work and we lose against Hawthorn in a game that we can't make finals, there might be a 0.3% chance for people who are delusional, but try it. If we don't try it and you go, oh, we do the same old and we lose the same old way, then you go, well, fuck, that's a waste of a week. There shouldn't be a waste of a training session. They say it all the time, coaches. I think Goodwin said it in his press conference after he was fuming. He said, we shouldn't be wasting training sessions. We shouldn't be wasting games. You shouldn't be wasting meetings, not trying to fucking improve. And his team aren't going to play finals. It shows you the standards. And I think we have those standards as well, by the way Voss talks. So I just want to see that in the next 5 weeks. Make the most out of, we could be 7 goals down on Thursday night. Don't stop playing. Try things. You know what I mean? Try things for next year. And then you use that vision, the start of next year, and you go, this is what we did against Hawthorn. Let's do it against them this time because it worked. And I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. But.
So you mentioned there, I know this might be a bit of a longer episode, but I think it's also good that we're touching on this because we can transition this into 2026. When you said then about a coach, like when has the Carlton game style popped up on first crack, or when has a coach ever said, oh, we weren't expecting Carlton to do that? When has that ever happened? It happened in 2022 when Michael Voss was raw and fresh and everything was new. Obviously, it's going to be different to 2021. It's a different fucking coach.
I don't think since bits of last year and 23, probably the back end where we tried things. Look when we tried things and changed it up, and when you saw the clips of certain Carlton things. So, just it doesn't have to be major changes. Seriously, it doesn't have to be major. Just little tinks. Try it for 5 minutes. Kerno on a wing, or try the thing I did with TDK, or try Matt Carroll on the wing, like you said. Try him up forward. Who knows? You know what I mean? Like, try him as the ball user going forward.
Has a great kick.
He clearly can kick. He can kick. So, wouldn't you want that kick going inside 50? I would think so.
Oh, it's astounding.
Even Sard on a wing. Really? Imagine Sard on that left wing. Doesn't have to pick anyone up. Fucking hell.
Hearing this, I mean, I think it's a very positive week heading into this game with the 4 points off last week, but it does annoy me because 2025 has been an absolute fucking disaster.
It has been. Yep.
So there still needs to be some mates. How does it not happen? I don't know why these conversations. I mean, I'm sure they would, but as you say, it's not doing anything.
No,
it's obviously not doing anything on field.
Yeah, clearly not.
Oh, it's astounding to me, Daffy boy. But I'll touch on my opposition watch for the back line. And I'll go with Jarman Impey. Bit of a different one. I know that he obviously is quite dangerous off that halfback flank, but the reason why he is my opposition watch this week is because last week against the Power, Hawks actually put Impey forward, kicked 3 goals, and pretty much won them the game. I know that they were pretty much locked in to win the game at 3/4 time anyway. But I think him going forward and kicking 3 goals in the wet was very, very dangerous. So that definitely is something that we need to look at. But that's another thing. We know that Impey can go forward and do that. So Hawthorn, Sam Mitchell, the mastermind, probably will work out another way to impact our defense. So that's something that we just need to be wary about. Like Josh Weddle isn't playing. So let's try and be wary about what they actually are going to do to try and win the game. Because as you say, they have a hell of a lot more to play for than us. So they will be trying stuff on Thursday night. Even if we are up at halftime or 3/4 time, don't let it slip.
No.
Oh, it frustrates me. It actually frustrates me how we always do it. It really does. It really does. But Dave boy, let's now move on.
I'm liking this frustrated Patto.
Yeah,
it's good entertainment.
I was walking into this preview and I'm like, this is going to be so good. I haven't done a preview coming off a win in a while.
Yeah.
I'm talking about negatives, definitely. But I mean, I think it is warranted. I know that you definitely agree, and I'm sure a lot of the people in the comments will agree. But it's just bullshit, man. Why? Also seeing Jack Martin absolutely tear up the shreds at Geelong in the halfback flank, dude. It's astounding to me why we don't think of that. Oh, yeah. But therefore, let's now move on to the midfield opposition watch. I'll throw straight to you. They do have a few midfielders in there. They might have a return of a certain Will Day as well this week, which is looking very likely. So that definitely could be a watch. But who are you looking at for the midfield?
Yeah, I won't say Day. I think he will play, or he'll be very close to at least. I look at their, I think their midfield. I think that this actually hurts them in terms of premiership. Not against us. I don't know if it'll hurt them against us. Hopefully it does, but I think it hurts them against the better teams, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm actually going to look at Connor Nash and his impact as a tagger, because I think he does it well where he has a good mix of tagging, but also tries to get himself in the game with the ball. So I wonder who he goes to. I'd imagine you go to Cripps because he's a bigger body. Cripps has been in some solid form, in my opinion, the last couple of weeks. So, and I have heard the last probably, that Port Adelaide and Collingwood, he was suffering a bad illness for weeks there, for 3 weeks apparently. It was a bad illness, and he was actually, if you go back to the Collingwood and Port game, obviously that Port game, he had the singlet underneath his Guernsey, and he was coughing into it the whole time and stuff. He wore that for the Collingwood game as well, which I noticed, and I was a bit he's clearly not 100% right. And then now he's got back into his form now since he's 100%. I'm not giving him the excuse, of course, but it doesn't help. It's like they're playing at the highest level. He's supposed to be the best player on the team. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see that Connor Nash matchup, and hopefully Cripps can, be at his best again.
Maybe that's what you've got.
Yeah, well, I haven't high-fived Cripper, I don't think, yet. I will look. I haven't. Yeah, I didn't go to any of those games. Obviously, the Port Adelaide game, Collingwood game. I didn't go for my own safety, so I didn't get the cold from old Cripper.
Your own safety. That you've gotten sick.
Yeah, but I'd rather get sick than have to watch us lose by 50 against the Maggots.
I am taking that every single day.
Any day of the week. I'd rather be sick for a whole year than do that. Honestly.
Oh god. But yeah, I mean, I love Nash as a player. I think you said it well. I think he's one of those taggers that really can impact a player defensively, but as you said, I think he definitely can do it offensively as well. So, yeah, I completely agree about the midfield. I think without Will Day, they do definitely start to look a little bit lackluster. All due respect, I mean, they are so much better than us in 2025, 100%. But I think the midfield is probably the one sort of line that we definitely could get ahead of. So, yeah, I think Nash definitely will go to Cripps. I'll go with John Newcomb. I think Will Day obviously will play, which is, I would say, unfortunate, but I always want to play against teams that have their best players so they don't have any excuse when we win, Duffy boy. Yeah. So John Newcomb will be my opposition watch, but obviously there has to be a big. Oh, you know what I'm looking forward to? The match predictions. That's all I'm saying. I'm looking very, very forward to that. But yeah, I think John Newcomb has definitely stepped up since Will Day has been absent, but it definitely will be interesting to see what will happen with Will Day returning this week, potentially. So, Duff Boy, let's now move on to the forward line opposition watch for the Hawthorn Hawks. Who have you got?
I'm going to say him straight away. Cal Shadir.
Yeah, like it.
Cal Shadir. He needs to stay in that team. I think he has the ability to be their best forward in the future. He just has something about him, the kid. He just has something about him. He came back last week, was taking marks in the wet. That's the sign of a good key forward. Doesn't matter what the conditions are. Doesn't matter if you've just come in. That's what I hope for Harry, coming in and making an impact straight away, which I know he can. And Cal Shadir is one of those players. So you look at their forward line, Lewis, Gunston, Deere as their keys. I'm not sure if Charles going to be back this week. I don't think he will be. No, I don't think so. So, yeah, with those three, the matchups will be interesting for that. They're interesting forwards, aren't they? I guess you'd probably go Weeders to Lewis in terms of size, but you could go to Gunston because he's been the best, and he stopped Melksham last week. Melksham was in great form, and I thought he had little to zero impact on the game because of Weeders. So, yeah, maybe I will do that. Put Wiedering on Gunston, but if Gunston's pushing high, I'd rather a Haynes or a Silvani pushing on him and just leaving. I want Wiedering staying in the D50 at all costs. He's going to come out at some points when he has to, but when he doesn't have to, I want him, within 25 metres of goal because I want them looking up and going, "Oh fuck, Wiedering's there."
Since we did it in the forward line for us and the back line for the Hawks, I just thought that we would do it as well for their forward line and our back line. So you're obviously mentioned there about Winnering potentially going to Gunston. I completely agree. I think it's been probably the main theme this year where Winnering has gone to the best forward. Doesn't necessarily need to be the best, like their main key forward. It's more down to their actual best forward. And Wiedering is our best defender. So, I think Wiedering definitely could go to Gunston. But as you said, I think Cal Shadir is probably one of the most underrated players in the comp. Seriously.
Nice.
I think he should have had that recognition when he returned. Lewis.
He's just a young gun. And he plays with the freedom you want a young guy to play with, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly right. And do you know what draft pick he was in 2023?
Well, I don't think it matters because he was a father-son.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Yeah.
I had something good
there. Still high, though. Was it 50s?
56.
56, there you go. Obviously there's other father-sons that are going in the top 10s and stuff. So clearly, there wasn't other teams bidding on him. And apparently that he was they just gave him a shot. Apparently they didn't think he was going to be, that great. And they gave him a shot, and last year he was unbelievable. Like he just came out there, and like I said, he's not fucking Charlie Curnow. He's not the superstar Jeremy Cameron, but he's building towards hopefully for the Hawthorn fans being that mainstay forward for a decade.
Yeah, exactly right. We know what happens when you give some players, some draftees the opportunity, but you can also see the negative side of it with Ben Silvani, Duffy boy.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Who would have thought for the preview for the Hawks, Ben Silvani?
Ben Silvani, yeah. Unbelievable. I did see him comment on a Harry Dean post saying, "Can you please wear my number next year?" The number he wore. I don't know, a bit of a weird unit. Oh, I didn't even know what number he fucking wore.
I think it was
So
38.
38 or something. Yeah.
I feel like it was
Oh, it's
38.
Will White's got that. So
Yeah, Will White's repping it well.
he's locking that down.
Yeah.
Willie
Well,
White.
what I kind of look more is like the I know Simon Wiggins was 34.
Oh,
I think.
Wigo, yes.
Wigo.
That's
But,
a very
also Kieran
niche.
Byrne was 38.
Who's this?
Kieran Byrne was 38.
Oh, yeah. Burn the Bunsen. Yep.
Bunsen.
Jesus Christ. These just niche AFL players you're bringing out here, Patto.
But definitely, I'll touch on my forward line opposition watch, and it will be Jack Ginnivan. He's gone up into the midfield. He's getting probably 20 to 25 disposals each week, and I still think he's definitely a genuine threat in that forward line. And we haven't even mentioned Nick Watson. We haven't even mentioned Dylan Moore. We haven't even mentioned Mitch Lewis to an extent. I don't think he is. I mean, I don't want this to come back to bite us in the bum. I think he's still a good key forward.
Yeah.
He's not really up there with what he's kind of seen to be from
the
external AFL audience. It's quite funny to me. But yeah, I think Jack Inman is definitely a watch in the forward line. But Daffy Boy, I'm quite excited for this. Very, very excited for this. Probably the first time I've been excited for match predictions for a while now. So for the people who don't know what we do for the predictions, we go through bag of the game, which is the best player on the ground from a Carlton point of view, point of difference, and winner plus margin. So I'll throw straight to you. I'm very, very intrigued, Daffy Boy, to hear what you have to say for your predictions. What have you got?
Yeah, it's like you said, I'm looking at this game with a positive mindset. I'm trying to keep a positive mindset for the last 5 weeks so I don't bang my head into a wall like I almost got to. No, I didn't actually get to, but there was points of the season. I guess the last, that patch, Port, Collingwood, North, like there were some terrible losses in that period, and it was hard to remain positive. But yeah, my best on ground. Weeders is going to be best on ground. Yes. Yes. In his 200th game, he's going to be taking grabs and he's going to take a clutch mark, and the Carlton faithful are going to I know it's an away game, but they're going to be standing up and they're going to be applauding their superstar. And I don't know how he's going to get carried off because he's the size of a truck. They're going to have to wheel out a bloody bodybuilder or something to carry him off the ground. I'd imagine Pitto and
TDK.
Pitto and TDK, and maybe Vossi at the back. Because he's still lifting up some tin Vossies in good shape, the old Voss man. But Wiedering best on. Point of difference for me, I don't think he got enough credit in the external media after the game on the weekend. And we had an interview with Nick. This is not about Nick Haynes. I'm not picking Nick Haynes, but we had an interview with Nick Haynes on 3AW on Sunday. And I asked the producer to ask about this guy, ask Haynes about this guy who played well on the weekend. Matt Carroll is the point of difference. Why is no one talking about him? What is going on there? I'm not really sure, because I think him and Moyer I actually think he had a better game than Moyer. I think Moyer had his 4 goals, of course, but I think people go towards the forward. And I understand that. I thought Moyer was fantastic. But I think Carroll, he was the number 1 rated player on the ground. Just do your thing, man. And I love that he was spinning around blokes and doing blind turns. That's what I want to see in the football. When I sit at the ground at MCG on a cold Thursday night, I want to see Matt Carroll doing circles around little Watson and little cunts like that. You know what I mean? So that's what I want to say. But I'm getting up and about. It's only Monday, and I'm sick as a dog. My voice won't be alive by Thursday. But Matt Carroll, point of difference, and winner. It's gone around in my head for the whole week this week, Patto. I was like, no, I think we'll give them a crack and they'll win, which I think will happen. I think it will happen. But then I'm thinking, 2 words, fuck it. Carlton are going to win on Thursday night. Carlton are going to win 2 points.
No
2
way.
points. Wiedering mark with 10 seconds to go. And he shows Mitch Lewis the ball and goes, "Fuck you, Mitch. I'm 200 game player. TDK is about to lift me on my shoulders." And the Navy Blue faithful will be celebrating a skyrocket up to 11th on the ladder after Thursday night's game. I've just got to be up and about because I'm not going to tip us next week against Freo. I think it's Freo next week. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not tipping us next week. I can guarantee you that. So I may as well tip us this week because it could be the last time of season 2025 or before the blockbuster Thursday night round 24 against the Bombers. So that'll be a huge one. I bet. I think me and Patto might attend and have 58 beers by quarter time to get us through that game and watch Matt Carroll do blind turns. But yeah, Blues by 2 points, Patto. And my voice is officially on its last legs.
I have two sides to it. I would fucking love a win.
Yeah.
But you know what would annoy me? Is if we win and we start to pull our fucking finger out. We win 5 or 6 games to finish the season. And I'm like, where was this the whole year?
But the positive is for me, if we start winning, we're winning with these young kids playing.
Yeah.
We're playing with, it's a different lineup to round 1. We're playing, I'll be like, okay, Moya's winning us fucking games. Like he's a part of it. Carroll's a part of it. That's the difference for me. I understand what you mean. I would be the same. But then you also got to just go, that's in the past. We want them to win this week. Like if we win this week, then you go, why didn't we win round 2? Well, that's just 18 weeks ago. It's a whole different story at the moment. We're playing for pride rather than, trying to get our season on track, which we were trying to in round 2.
It's exciting times. It's exciting times coming off a win against the D's.
Oh, Jesus.
Only the one win. And if we win, we jump up to 11th on the ladder, as you said, Daffy Boy. Yes, that's exactly what we want to see.
Yeah.
But now, when you said Jacob Wiedering bagger of the game, I was a little bit like, fuck. Because I thought you may have not gone with him because I wanted to go with him. But as I always do, whoever you say, I usually recognise some other players. So I've got a backup. Bag of the game. Charlie Curnow.
Yeah, love it.
Domination. I'm talking 5 or 6.
Oh, you talking bags?
Yeah, Harry's back.
Yeah, love it.
Charlie,
love it.
Come on, Charlie.
We'll be talking about bags, and we won't even kick 6 goals. I wouldn't count it out. I wouldn't count it out, but continue. Sorry.
Oh god, that's definitely what's going to happen. Is that the Hawks are going to get 15 goals, and we're going to get 4 and about 2 shots, and also 2 behind. So only 6 shots on goal. That's a typical come performance. But yeah, Charlie Curnow, bagger of the game, point of difference. Zachy Williams.
Yeah, love it. He's been great.
Come on, Zachy. Like you said about Mitch Lewis, fuck you, Mitch. I wanted Zach Williams to turn to John Newcombe or Will Day and be like, hang on.
No, stuff them. No, run 50 metres and go up to Mitch Lewis.
Yeah.
Go, fuck you, Mitch.
He's just kicked a goal and he's right down the other end. Fuck you, Mitch.
Sorry to Mitch Lewis if he's watching. I hope you have a good, return month, but hope you have a shit one this week.
Yeah. I think hopefully he has a good Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully he has a good Thursday morning, Thursday afternoon, and a pretty shit Thursday night, Daffy boy. when they lose to the Baggers by 54. That's not my prediction. That is not my prediction. That is not my prediction. But yeah, Zach Williams hopefully will be the point of difference come Thursday night. Winner plus margin. We've spoken all week. Well, after the D's game. I am extremely optimistic about this game.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't know what it
extremely.
is. I don't
know
what it is,
why.
but
And it's probably delusion. We'll probably go into the review. We'll lose by 45 points. We'll be like, oh, okay, so that game against the D's was all delusion. It was just a honeymoon like phase. Who knows? But I'm heading into this game and I'm like, I'm sorry that it probably was because it was a different opposition. It's probably a worse opposition than Brisbane and Collingwood, but
yeah.
there was something different
Yeah.
last week against the D's, and I'm heading into this week very, very optimistic. I am going to tip the Blues by 11 points.
Oh, yes.
I don't feel like it's going to be a hard stopper, but
No.
I feel like it's going to be like the D's game where we will get kind of like the Saints game as well, when we kind of kick a clutch goal. We will be up by 5 or 4 points, kick a goal to make it 10 or 11, win the game. Win the game. That's we've been saying it the whole time. I don't care about anything else. Win the fucking game.
Yep.
Nothing else. I don't care about.
No.
I mean, obviously, I care about Wiedering's 200th game, but that should give you even more motivation. Where don't let Nick Watson run around you like your bloody training going. Don't let Mitch Lewis come up to you saying, "Fuck you, Mitch." Turn around and say, "No, fuck you, Mitch."
Lucky McGovern's not playing. There'll be 2 Mitches. Jesus Christ.
I will say it's a pretty shit name, the Mitches. Let's be real. There's a few Mitches out there. It's obviously Mitch Lewis, Mitch McGovern, certain Mitch Pattinson over here, that boy. But I'm very, very optimistic. I'm hoping that it's not delusion and we head into the review after a very, very disappointing loss. That's what I'm a little bit concerned about, because I have very high hopes. Hawthorn are a very good team to have a lot to play for. What you've said a few times the past few weeks is have the mentality, the defeatist mentality of St Kilda, where you can ruin teams that are in top 4, top 8 contention, ruin their season. Make them look back at the end of the year, be like, if only we beat Carlton. That's what we did last year with the Saints. If only we beat
miss out on the top 4 because they lost to Matt Carroll.
Oh, I'm excited, David boy. But before we wrap up the preview episode, is there anything else you would like to touch on? I just thought I would also mention as well. Sorry for the people that are watching on YouTube. I forgot to change the ticker halfway through the match bloody predictions. I don't think you even saw it, David boy, but I realized when you were speaking, I was like, oh boy. So I'll remove the predictions and I'll throw straight to you. Last words before we wrap up the episode.
Yeah, like you said, it's a weird. I had a good feeling heading into last week. I did tip us last week on all platforms. I just had a feeling, especially with Melbourne. I think we've had that kind of good memories and good form against them, and obviously that continues. And it's going to be tough. You know, we're tipping us. I still expect us to lose the game, and it's more high hopes. But I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I know.
I seriously don't know. And people at work have told me as well. I just feel like Carlton are going to have a crack this week against Hawthorn. It could be a fun game. I just feel like it'll be one of those. You know, everyone goes, "Oh yeah, Hawks by 5 goals or whatever." But I just feel like I just want to see us take it up to them and just scare them a bit. You know what I mean? Hit the front late. Even if we lose, hit the front late, and they just go, "Oh fuck." You know, of course I'd like to win, but make them go, "Oh shit." Make them start panicking.
Exactly,
you know what I mean? Like, make them start like, oh, shit, we've got to kick a goal in 2 minutes. Otherwise, Carlton are going to beat us. Yeah. So get it done and get me up at about out of my seat again, like on Saturday night.
Are you going?
I will be there. I will be there on Thursday night. Let's just get around them. I know it's an away game, so there'll be more of them, I think. But, get around them. Get around Weeders. I think a few people will be there getting around him. So, I usually sit kind of near the races, kind of in between both races. So even if we lose the game, I'll be there to get around Weeders.
How about Kez?
She will be in attendance. She's had the flu as well. So we've both had the flu at the same time. So she's still hit or miss. I think she's a test to be in selection for this week's viewing.
Test. 1 week illness.
1 week
flu.
Supporters injury list. Oh, Jesus Christ.
What do you mean? My funny excuse, mine has been omitted or like, what do you mean? I mean, I've just
Personal
chosen
reasons.
not to go. Personal reasons, yeah.
Support a reason for not going. Can't be fucked. CBF. Oh, this episode's just gone off on a tangent tonight. It's been a bit of a. You could probably put it as a comedy, I reckon, as a category. I hope people have enjoyed the episode as much as we have. This has been hilarious.
Oh, that's so funny because it would be so true as well. I would just be like, my own reason. I just can't be fucked, mate. I literally just cannot be fucked.
Straight to the point.
Yeah, but to every single blue bagger out there, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel. As you said, Daffy Boy, this was a bit more of an enjoyable episode. I think it was more because we were coming off a win last week, but we just want to try and make the most of these last few weeks. I'm obviously going to the game this week, and I've really, really missed that. So I'm very, very excited. I don't know why. I mean, even if we don't get the job done, I've just kind of missed that feeling of going to the football. So very, very excited for Thursday night to kind of get back and wear my scuff, go to the footy again. Like we've been absolutely run to the ground with work and stuff. So I think it's finally good to have a bit of freedom and go to the game and support the team that we love. Because I know that we're harsh on them, but at the end of the day, we do support the team. We do support the club. We absolutely love the team and love the club. So we always will for the rest of our lives, especially. So, so hopefully we can get the win. But as you said perfectly, I actually wouldn't mind if we lose by 2 points.
Yeah.
Like, make it a bit of a challenge and make Hawthorn make a move like Jarman Impey late.
Yeah.
Make them make that move.
Yeah, yes. Force them to win the game.
Yeah.
Make them win the game.
Exactly right. I'm very I'm sure it's just delusion, but I'm very, very optimistic about this game. So very, very excited. I think it's more because I'm going to the game, first one since the North Melbourne game. So not great memories to look back on, dare I say.
Dance cam.
That
angry as
you speaking about when I was in the background?
Oh man,
that could be one of the best moments. Seeing dance cam come on my screen at fucking 3/4 time when we were down by 54 points or something to the Kangas. But to every single blue bagger out there, let's wrap up this episode, Duffy Boy. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, check out our podcast platforms. You can see the audio versions on there if you want to go for a car drive or a walk or a run, and you want to listen to a podcast, and you choose Baggers Chat as your point of choice for podcasts. We really do appreciate that, and it really does help us if you can give us a 5-star rating. Also, check out our social platforms, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. There's a few others out there that you can check us on. Also, at the top of the description, there's a link to our merch. So that is the best way to support our channel. So if you can, please do. It is at the top of the description. But to you, Daffy Boy, and to every single blue bagger out there, up the baggers!